We write the test cases by manually.
Hmm. Without any tool support, everything we will do manually with our efforts. With human efforts, we will do everything. Everything we will do with our efforts. So that's why that is called manual testing. So already manual testing existed in the market. Why automation came into market? That means in manual testing we have some drawbacks. What are the drawbacks in manual testing? Guess it, sir.
Time taking process
Hmm. Manual testing
and
drawbacks.
complex.
Manual testing drawbacks. First drawback is time taking, time consuming. More number of people required.
Complex, more number people.
More number of people required.
Manpower.
Manpower. More number of people required. Next. Guess it.
Complex.
Complex means
Uh,
complex. More number of people required. And tiredness. We are doing manually. So tiredness. No accuracy. That means less accuracy. Manually we are doing. So less accuracy.
accuracy.
And it is not a consistent process. It is a bored process. We cannot repeat the task again and again. Again and again. Simultaneous actions not possible. Simultaneous actions not possible. There is nothing to learn new things. These are the main drawbacks in manual testing. Time consuming, more number of people required, tiredness, less accuracy. It is not a consistent process. It is a bored process. We can't repeat the task again and again. Simultaneous actions not possible. There is nothing to learn new things. These are the manual testing drawbacks. What do you mean by automation testing? Automation also one of the type of testing in which all the drawbacks in manual testing are addressed properly. It will give speed and accuracy to the existing testing process. It will give speed and accuracy. It will give speed and accuracy.
And accuracy.
It will give speed and accuracy to the existing testing process. So there are two types of testing. One is manual testing, other one is automation testing. In manual testing, we have some drawbacks. That's the reason automation came into market. What is the main automation drawbacks? Wherever you go, still 80 to 90% people still they are depending upon manual processor. Not only in India, wherever you go. If it is USA or UK, wherever you go, 80 to 90% people still they are depending upon manual process. In manual testing, we have many drawbacks, but still 80 to 90% of people they are depending upon manual process. Why they are
Manual
depending upon
testing.
manual process? That means automation also we have some drawbacks. What are the drawbacks in automation? Automation drawbacks. First point, professionals required. Second point, time consuming. Oh, sorry, not professionals required. Second point,
టైం కన్జ్యూమ్ అక్కడ
Tools are
ఇచ్చింది
very
సార్, అదే టైం కన్జ్యూమ్.
tools are very expensive.
ఎక్స్పెన్సివ్.
Tools are very expensive. If you want to buy a tool, compulsory we should pay nearly 6 to 7 lakhs, 5 to 6 lakhs, just like so. Tools are very expensive. If you want QTP license, we need to pay for single license 3 to 5 lakhs. So tools are very expensive, and main drawback is we can't automate. We can't automate all the areas using tools also. We can't automate all the areas using tools also. These are the main drawbacks in automation testing. That's the reason 80 to 90% of people still they are depending upon manual process. Why they are depending upon manual process? So in manual testing we have some drawbacks. So manual testing we have some drawbacks, but still 80 to 90% of people still they are depending upon manual process. That means in automation also we have some drawbacks. What are the main drawbacks? Professionals required. If it is manual tester, so we can give training within 1 week or 1 day and we can take into project. But if it is automation tester, compulsory you should know some technical knowledge like scripting language, something you should know. Then only you can work as a automation tester. So professionals required. And second point, tools are very expensive. Whenever you are comparing with the manual testing, manual is the cheapest testing process. Manual is the cheapest testing process. But if it is automation, it is very expensive. And the third point, we can't automate all the areas using tools also. Using tools also, we can't automate all the areas. So that is the reason 80 to 90% of people still they are depending upon manual process. So, but here you should remember only one thing. Automation is not a replacement of manual testing. This is the continuation part of manual testing. Manual testing is nothing but it is a basic process. Automation is nothing but it is a advanced process. Manual testing is nothing but it is a basic process. Automation is nothing but it is a advanced process. If it is any project, compulsory we should do manually. After application getting stability, we can implement automation testing. So manual is a basic process. If it is any project, compulsory we need to do manually first of all. After application getting stability, stability means after developing the application only we can implement automation testing. Sir, got it?
Yes, sir.
So automation, manual testing is not a replacement of automation testing. Manual testing is not a replacement of manual testing. This is the continuation part of manual testing. If it is any project, compulsory we should do manually only. First of all, we should do manually. After application getting stability, after total application developed, then only we can implement automation testing. Whenever you are facing the interview, that time they may ask you like, when can you implement automation testing? You are saying manual is a basic process. You are saying automation is advanced process. When can you implement automation testing? Whenever the application is stable condition, then only we can implement automation testing. Whenever the application is stable condition, then only we can implement automation testing. Right.
Can you tell me when the application is, how can I identify that application is stable, sir? Just for small example.
After total developing the application, after developing the total application, then only it will be stable. Then only we can say it is stable. After total application. So for example, I will show you with example, small example. If it is manual testing, if you just
Oh, you mean like they will send a build one, build two?
yes, sir. Oh, this is the build. So manual testing we can do it. So manually we can do it. So we can take 10, we can take 20. If you click on add button, result 30 is coming or not. So individually we can do it. Individually we can do it. But if it is automation testing, so if you can do automation also, but we can't get good results. We can't get good results. That's the reason after entire developing the application, then only we can implement automation testing. Why? Because after adding add button, they are adding some another button, sub button. So that time, so you can get you can't get a good result, no accuracy. So that's the reason. Whenever the total developing the application, then only we can implement. Individually also we can implement, sir. Oh, this point is you should remember, sir. Manually, individually we can do it, sir. Manually we can
Hmm.
do individually, but if it is automation also individually we can do it, but we can't say it is
Can't get results from it.
yes. Why? Because after adding the sub functionality, other functionalities may be reflect or effect.
Hmm.
That's the reason after getting the stability only. That means after developing the entire application only we can implement automation testing. So we can individually also we can implement, but we can't get good results. So after entire developing the application, then only we can implement automation testing. Then only we can get good results. So when can you implement automation testing? Whenever the application is stable condition. Stable means after entire application developed, then only we can implement automation testing. Got it, sir? If it is any project, any software company, any type of project, compulsory they need to do manually. First of all, after getting stability, they can implement automation testing. Right. Yeah, automation tool is nothing but first introduction of automation. Automation tool introduction. Automation tool introduction. Automation tool introduction. Yeah, automation tool is nothing but it is an assistant of test engineer. Yeah, automation tool is nothing but it is an assistant of test engineer. Yeah, automation tool is nothing but it is an assistant of test engineer. For example, I have an assistant. He is from Orissa. For example, I have an assistant. He is from Orissa. I know Telugu. You don't know Telugu. I know Hindi. You don't know Hindi. I know English. You don't know English. He knows only Oriya. So first of all, I should learn Oriya. I should learn first Oriya. First of all, I should learn Oriya. Then only I can give the instructions and information. Without giving the instructions and information, he will not do anything. So, yeah, automation tool is nothing but it is an assistant of test engineer. So I have an assistant. He is from Orissa. So I know Telugu. You don't know Telugu. I know Hindi. You don't know Hindi. I know English. You don't know English. He knows only Oriya. First of all, I should learn Oriya. Then only I can give the instructions and information. After giving the instructions and information, he can do work. Otherwise, he will not do any work. So, just like my assistant is Selenium. My assistant is Selenium. If I want to work with Selenium, first of all, I should know 5 basic things. If I want to work with this particular Selenium, first of all, I should know 5 basic things.
Hmm.
First of all, I should know how to give the instructions. Second point, how to give the information. How to use the recording facility. How to use this recording facility. How to use its playback facility. How to analyzing the results. If you know these things, you can work with any automation tool. First of all, if you want to work with any automation tool, first of all, we should know 5 basic things: how to give the instructions and how to give the information, how to use its recording facility, how to use its playback facility, how to analyzing the results. If you know these things, you can work with any automation tool. So, first of all, if you want to work with any automation tool, we should know 5 basic things. So without giving the instructions, tool will not do anything. Simply it will sit. For example, your assistant also, without giving any information, he will not do anything. Simply he will sit. So just like automation tool is nothing but it is an assistant of test engineer. Okay. All right. Next type of tools in the market. type of tools. In market, we have different type of tools. One is functional tools. Functional tools. In functional tools, we have different tools. One is WinRunner. WinRunner is a functional tool. After that, they made RFT, rational functional tool. After that, QTP. After that, Selenium. These are the functional tools. Functional tools means if compulsory we need to perform some actions on the functionality, then only we can say that functionality is properly working or not. That type of tools is functional tools. Compulsory we should perform some actions on the functionality, then only we can say that functionality is properly working or not. That type of tools is functional tools. In functional tools, we have first one is WinRunner. This is not user friendly. That's the reason none of the people are using nowadays. RFT, rational functional tool, IBM tool, none of the people not using. After that, they introduced QTP, Quick Test Professional. This is also functional tool, but nearly 18 years in the market, that is QTP history. Nearly 1994 to 2012, only one commercial tool. This is a QTP is a commercial tool. Nearly 18 years in the market. That is QTP history. After that, Selenium. So, first of all, we should know what are the main differences between QTP and Selenium. Then you can get it. What are the main differences between QTP and Selenium? QTP introduced in 1994. QTP introduced in 1994 by Mercury people. Mercury people, they introduced in 1994. Selenium introduced by Johnson Huggins in 2004. QTP is a commercial tool. Selenium is a open source tool. If you have internet connection directly, you can work with any application. Open source tool. Directly we can download through online and we can use that software. So it is a open source tool. So this is the one of the main advantage in Selenium. Using QTP, we can in QTP mainly we have recording and playback facility. In QTP, we have recording and playback facility. Main facility, we have recording and playback facility. In Selenium WebDriver, mainly I'm talking about only WebDriver. I'm talking about only WebDriver. We don't have any recording and playback facility. We don't have. Using QTP, we can work with only VB scripting language. We can work with only VB scripting language. Here we can use multi-scripting languages. Selenium knows Java, Perl, Python, C Sharp, Ruby. So we can work with any scripting language. Using QTP, we can work with only IE browser very comfortably. We can work with all browsers, but very comfortably we can work with only IE browser. But here we can work with multi browsers like any browser you can take it. We can work with multi browsers. QTP is not very user friendly. Selenium is very user friendly. Without knowing anything, we can work with Selenium. Without knowing anything, comfortably we can work with the Selenium. That's the reason most of the people, most of the companies nowadays, they are encouraging only Selenium only. So these are the nearly, this is QTP. I'm great lover of QTP actually. So this is introduced by 1994 to 2012, nearly 18 years in the market. That is QTP history. Nearly 18 years in the market. That is QTP history. It is a previously it is most demandable tool in the world. That is QTP. Now most demandable tool in the world. That is Selenium now. Why? Because QTP is a commercial tool. Only that is the one drawback, and it is a open source tool. This is the advantage. Next, Selenium introduction. Next, Selenium introduction. What is Selenium? Selenium is nothing but it is a software. Selenium is nothing but it is a software. Selenium is nothing but it is a software which contains some set of programs. Selenium is nothing but it is a software which contains some set of programs. Selenium is nothing but it is a software which contains some set of programs. Simply we can say definition. Selenium is nothing but it is a software which contains some set of programs. Selenium having four components. Selenium having four components. One is Selenium IDE. IDE means integrated development environment. I will tell you. Selenium RC. RC means remote control. Selenium WebDriver. Selenium Grid. Selenium having four components: Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. First, we will discuss about Selenium IDE. IDE means integrated development environment. IDE means integrated development environment. What is Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE is nothing but it is a software. Same definition. Selenium definition only. Selenium IDE is nothing but it is a software which contains some set of programs. This set of programs, why? Because these are the programs. So directly we can't interact with these programs. So we need one user interface. We need one user interface. In the place of user interface, we are using IDE only. No need to install somewhere. No need to install somewhere. IDE is a user interface. IDE is a user interface. No need to install somewhere. No need to install somewhere. Using Selenium IDE, we can perform very limited testing. That's the reason none of the people not using Selenium IDE nowadays. It is deprecated. It is deprecated. It is deprecated. Deprecated. It is deprecated. So, I will teach you Selenium IDE, but we can perform very limited testing. So that's the reason none of the people not using Selenium IDE nowadays. After that, they made Selenium RC. RC means remote control. What is Selenium RC? Selenium RC is nothing but it is a software which contains some set of programs. This set of programs we need to configure into one user interface. This set of programs we need to configure into one user interface. User interface, UI, user interface. In the place of user interface, we are using Eclipse. Eclipse is nothing but it is a powerful editor to write the Java programs. If you want to write the Java programs, always we will use Eclipse. Eclipse is nothing but it is a powerful editor to write the Java programs. Always we will use Eclipse. Eclipse is nothing but it is a powerful editor to write the Java programs. Even developers also they will use Eclipse only. So whenever you want to work with this Selenium RC, we need to start the server manually. We need to stop the server manually. We need to start the server manually and we need to stop the server manually. So using Selenium RC also we can perform very limited testing. That's the reason none of the people are using Selenium RC also. It is also deprecated. It is also deprecated. Next, Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver is nothing but it is a software, same definition, sir. Selenium WebDriver is nothing but it is a software which contains some set of programs. These set of programs we need to configure into one user interface. In the place of user interface, we are using Eclipse only. Eclipse is nothing but it is a powerful editor to write the Java programs. Sir, you said RC and WebDriver both set of same? Huh? Yes, both set of same. What is the main difference, sir? Whenever you are comparing with the Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver are having some powerful set of programs. Using this Selenium WebDriver, we can perform very limited testing. So using Selenium WebDriver, unlimited testing we can perform. That's the reason most of the people, most of the companies nowadays, they are encouraging, they are using Selenium WebDriver only. So our main focus only on Selenium WebDriver. I will teach you Selenium IDE, but we will keep main focus only on Selenium WebDriver. Selenium is nothing but it is a Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver is nothing but it is a Selenium. Using why most of the people they are using Selenium WebDriver whenever you are comparing with other tools like Selenium ID or Selenium RC, so we can perform unlimited testing. Selenium WebDriver is very user friendly. That's the reason most of the people, most of the companies nowadays they are encouraging only Selenium WebDriver only. Selenium WebDriver is very user friendly. Selenium WebDriver is very user friendly. That's the reason most of the people, most of the companies, they are using Selenium WebDriver only. So our we will keep main focus only on Selenium WebDriver. Last one is Selenium Grid. Last one is Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid is nothing but same. It is a software which contains some set of programs. Using these programs, we can run the test parallelly on multiple machines. We can run the test parallelly on multiple machines. At a time, we can run the test parallelly on multiple machines. So what is the main use? We can increase the performance of the execution. We can increase the performance of the execution. That's the reason some of the companies they are using Selenium Grid also. Very less companies, very less companies. Here is no drawbacks, but very less companies they are using Selenium Grid. These are the Selenium components. So before going to Selenium component, before going to Selenium, first of all we should learn Java. So any of the scripting language, but wherever you go, 99% of people they are using Java with Selenium. That's the reason we should learn Java, not entire Java, only core Java concept. Even fourth class kid also he can learn Java or he can learn Selenium. Very basic concepts only. Not if you want to learn entire Java, it will be nearly 6 months it will take. But we will learn only 6 to 7 classes only. So very less Java we need. So that Java I will teach you. Okay, not entire Java, sir. Don't fear. It's very easy. Even fourth class kid also, he can learn Java. Even fourth class kid also he can learn Java. He can learn Java. So that Java concept I will teach you. Only basic Java, 0.001% Java only we should learn. Okay, right. Before going to Java, we should know basic concept, that is primitive data type. Primitive data types. First concept to primitive data types. Basic concept. If you want to work with Java, compulsory we should know some basic data type. One is byte, next short. So we are learning Java, sir. Basic, sir. Do you know anything about Java, sir?
Um, in engineering, I think I got one subject long back, but I
Okay,
didn't.
no problem, sir. So you know Java. Primitive data types. There are 8 primitive data types in Java: byte, short, int,
Care.
long, float, double, float, double,
C
boolean.
CHR.
Mm, that is SQL. Boolean, char, char, character.
Mm.
So these are the 8 primitive data types in Java. Byte, short, int, long. So first 4 data types are used for store the integer data types. First 4 data types are used for store the integer data types. First 4 data types are used for store the integer values like number of hands, number of states, number of countries, number of buses, number of oceans. Just if you want to store any integer, If you want to store any integer value or numeric value, that time we will use this data types. First four data types are used for store the only integer values. Number of fans, number of hands, number of legs, number of buses, number of cars. So if you want to store any number, that time we will use first four data types. First four data types are used for store the integer values. Byte, short, int, long. Byte is 8 bits, sir. Sir, why we need four data types? So here is one reason. Byte is 8 bit, short is 16 bit, integer is 32 bit, long is 64 bit. Long is 64 bit. If you want. So what is byte, sir? So what do you mean by 8 bit? So it will occupy minus minus 2 power of 7 to 2 power of 7 minus 1. In between values we can store. That means minus 128 to plus 127. In between values we can store in byte. Byte is used for we can store the minus 128 to plus 127. In between values we can store in byte. Start is 16 bit. It will occupy minus 2 power of 15 to 2 power of 15 minus 1. In between values we can store in short. 32 bit. Third one is 32 bit. We can store in minus 2 power of 31 to 2 power of 31 minus 1. In between values we can store in integer. Long minus 2 power of 63 to 2 power of 63 minus 1. In between values we can store it. So byte, short, int, long. These four data types are used for store the integer values. If you want to store the integer values, we will use these four data types. Float and double are used for store the float and double are used for store the decimal values like my height is 5.7. So 5.7, 0.002. So that is a decimal value. If you want to store the decimal values, we will use float and double. Float is 32 bit, double is 64 bit. Float is 32 bit, double is 64 bit. Float is 32 bit, double is 64 bit. So if you want to store the only decimal values, we will use float and double. Float is 32 bit, double is 64 bit. Boolean is used for store the true or false. If you want to store the true or false, we will use Boolean. True or false. If you want to store the true or false, we will use Boolean. Char is used for store the single character. If you want to store the single character, we will use char. So now here you should remember only one thing. String is not a data type in Java. It is a predefined function in Java. String is not a data type in Java. String is not a data type in Java. It is a predefined function in Java. String is not a data type in Java. It is a predefined function in Java. If you want to store the any string like Akhil is a string group of characters. If you want to store the any group of characters, that time we will use string. String is not a data type in Java. It is a predefined function in Java. You should remember. String is not a data
Data
type
type.
in Java. It is a predefined function in Java. String is not a data type in Java. It is a predefined function in Java. Okay, that is the concept, sir. And sir, actually, I will stop the record mode first of all.